Hey y'all, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and it's time for another sketch from Christy's beautiful life. I'm doing day 10, not quite on day 10, but not too late. Let's see, where's my day 10? Day 10 by Francis West, and it's got a bunch of, I assume, 2x2 squares on half of it, and then on the other half another little triangle of them. So I have a whole bunch of scraps. I have one sheet of Creative Memories paper for my background. I have a few more pictures than she had, but they're smaller. So I have three or four. I don't know that this one will make it in there. I may save that for a different page, but I have 3 pictures. I have some letters. I have a little few pieces of ephemera, some enamel dots. We're going to set those aside. And my first step is I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of 2x2 squares. Here's my ephemera. Let's set this aside. I have these handy dandy little trays from scrapbook.com that I like a lot. So I'm going to do some, I'm thinking, all these little bits, I should have put those in an envelope. I'm thinking 2x2. I'm going to do a few of them and see how it looks size-wise. I kind of like this. This is a fun pattern. And I think I won't need more than maybe 3 per color. I don't know. We're going to see. So not all these are all from different paper collections. They're just from my scrap bin, but what better use? And do I feel like that's about the right size? I think I do. I think that's about the right size. So let's get some more cut. Two by two. And this is not going to be 2x2, so I'll set the smaller ones aside. And maybe I can turn those into a card or something. I think this is not 2 inches. No, so that one's going to have to go by the wayside. So I'm going to start with 2 of each and see what I can get out of that. There's 2 inches. How am I going to get one out of this? Well, that's unfortunate. I'm only going to have one of those. But maybe I can get a corner or half of one. Two by 2, and then I can cut it corner to corner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right. I think that's going to work. All right, well, I'm going to keep cutting these, and then I'll come back when I have them all cut, and we'll see how it's looking. So off camera, I finished cutting the squares. I drew a line across the page, not quite in the middle, as a baseline, but you'll see I still fuss around a lot. I want this one on the side to go exactly to half a square, or otherwise known as a triangle, on the side. And so I am fussing around. Now, I will say my line is not perfect, so I do have to fuss around a bit with it. But when the page is done, you don't notice. So I'm just placing all of those squares, and I'm just randomizing them, making sure I don't have the same ones too close to each other, and that I have some of the different patterns in each section. Now, a way to simplify this would be to just completely cover half of it with the triangles and not have that channel between the two. But she had the channel. I decided to challenge myself and try and make the channel. But I wanted them lined up. I didn't want them offset from the other ones. And so that complicated things a little bit because I'm being fussy. But if you just complete, I don't think you would notice if you didn't have that channel there and you just did half of it and then the smaller triangle up in the top part. This, as I said, this is a great sketch for scraps. And I will also say that none of these come from the same company. There may be a couple of things from Creative Memories. There's maybe sassafras in, I don't even know, My Mind's Eye maybe. I mean, random stuff. But I just picked things that were in basically the color family. And that didn't look horrible together. That was my philosophy. And the colors I picked are sort of in the greens and blues family. I've got some blues in the photos. You know, it was during the day, so I didn't want it too dark. So I'm just looking for a couple of little bits that will work for me or come close to it. And then I've got a couple of corners that I need to do. So I'm just lopping off bits that I see that I can make work. Then I have one more, and I think I'm going to put the dark green there. And I didn't cut it quite big enough, but nobody's going to know. All right, and then I'm going to just flip it over. I am going to, rather than scissors, I am going to use my trimmer for this. It made pretty quick work of it. And I have all these little triangles left. I may try and make a card out of that if I have time. I am running out of time, though, before my trip, so I'm trying to get a few of these pages done. And right now that page is upside down. I sincerely hope I realize that. Just trimming the photos. I don't think I matte these photos. I matte one of them maybe, so that it can stand out, because it's of Reese and Alex. And so we tailgated before the graduation because parking is bad, so we wanted a good parking spot that would be easy to get out of. And we knew that we just we brought sandwiches and sodas and chips and just hung out and relaxed so that we could. And then I got in the line while they waited. I got in the line for, and I did not turn it around. How interesting. I ended up turning this whole page and not realizing it. That is crazy. Because that blank space was supposed to be at the side. And I just now realized it. Well, I don't hate that heart, but I didn't put it on there. I'm a little bit mad at myself now. I don't know how that happened. It works out fine, honestly, because then that at the bottom becomes journaling space. Not that my daughter will journal, but it was not supposed to be that way. The photos were supposed to be filling that empty gap. I'm a ding-dong, y'all. This is some real-world scrapbooking. I make mistakes. I can't believe I did that. I'm still in shock. So I'm using these old Creative Memories alphas because I liked that they were different and they had different colors and a white border to help them stand out. And I'm just doing anticipation for the title. I do end up fussing around with that quite a bit. I end up squishing them together quite a bit more. So I do some mixing around so that I don't have all the circles in one chunk. So there's still some movement to come. Switching out some letters for each other since I had multiple. And at this point, seeing all that blank space at the bottom, I should have scooted everything down. There's still more scrunching to come. Anticipation is a very long word. But I am finishing up now. See, I wouldn't have wasted all those gorgeous squares. Now, other things that you can do to these squares to help highlight them is, see, I'm liking that heart now. I may have to go back and add that heart. You could stitch each of these hearts. You could rough up the edges of each of these hearts to give it a lot more texture. I decided not to do that just because I'm kind of in crunch time, and that would have turned
you know, a 1 hour page into a 2 hour page for me. And this is where I scrunch up even more. And I just started from the middle. And I like that a lot better. So there you have it. We're going to do some close-ups now. As soon as I finish these enamel dots. These are little heart ones, so I sprinkle a couple of those around as well. So I really enjoyed this sketch, even though I somehow messed it up. And I might try something like this again. Great use for scraps. You guys go over to 30 Days of Sketches on Facebook and join in the fun. All the sketches are there.